Okay, Carissa, you should be able to unmute yourself if you just want to do that. And one second, let me pin my video and then I'll switch to your video. There you are. Okay, perfect. All right, so I don't really know a whole lot about Carissa, but I have seen her posts a lot. Y'all know who Carrie Young is? Most of y'all are like obsessed with her like I am, but she's on Carrie Young's team, so that's kind of how I know her. Carrie's tagged her in a couple of posts before and stuff. So I wanted to get her on this Zoom because she has a brand new triple diamond, and so she's gonna tell us a little bit about how she got started with this business and all that stuff. So I'll pin your video if you want to go ahead.
Okay, so like Morgan said, yeah, I'm on Carrie Young's team. I live in South Dakota. It's a really small town. My husband is a teacher and coach here, and then I do this business full time. But it hasn't always been that way. So when I started back in October of 2016, and I was actually in grad school full time. I was going for my doctorate of occupational therapy, and I had been a customer in the past, and I had been watching my enroller. I was that silent stalker that I literally read every single post she posted on Instagram and Facebook, and I never liked a single post. I never did anything. And finally, after 15 months of joining, for those of you, or like for those that know me really well, I'm like known as the queen of questions. I'm super skeptical. So finally, after 15 months of watching, I finally reached out to her and just kind of asked her a couple questions. I actually went to a team meeting before I even joined. Like I had to know everything before I would jump in. And finally, on October 13th of 2016, I finally got the courage. I paid the $99 to get started. And I truly started to earn an extra $200 while in grad school, to get a manicure, to just go shopping, stuff like that. My husband was a first-year teacher, so if you can imagine, in South Dakota is one of the worst-paying states for teachers. So we were just, living paycheck to paycheck. I was taking out extra student loans to, be able to live. And so I was like, an extra $200, that'd be great. So I joined in October. In November, I promoted to executive. December, I promoted to Ruby. And I earned, back then, there was a $500 Ruby bonus. So I earned the $500 Ruby bonus, and I was just going through grad school. But then come April of 2017, I just, all my classmates were super passionate about OT, and I was not. And I knew I still had 2.5 years left. And so I made a really hard decision, my husband and I did, and I actually withdrew from grad school. And I went full-time with It Works in April of 2017. And it was at that point, it was a do or die situation. I have a business degree in human resource management. So it was either, well, I'm going to make this work, or I have to go get a job. And so I really just dove in with both feet. And at this point, I was actually being paid as an executive. But May 2017, I promoted to Diamond, and every single month since then, except for the month after, I've maintained Diamond. So that's a full-time income. Just jumped in with both feet, and I just really held on to faith in the plan. We all are always hoping for that next runner, but I really was running by myself for a really long time until this last fall. I finally signed a couple girls that wanted it just as bad as I did, which is amazing. But I do say, you have to be your own runner first before you can sign that runner, and always leading your team from the front. And so, I promoted to Diamond May of 2017, then February of 2018, right after conference, I promoted to Double Diamond. And then just this last month, I promoted to Triple Diamond with an amazing group of girls. So that's a little bit about my story.
Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations on promoting. That's amazing. Okay. So, a couple things that you said in there, I just wanted to mention. So number one, we have a teacher actually from South Dakota that's in this Zoom. She's on my team, and she was like, preach. Yes. Everything you're talking about. She was like, yes, I know. So funny. But so I like what you said about the fact that you have to be your own runner, and that it took you a little bit at first to find somebody who really wanted this like you did. And I don't know, everybody in this Zoom has been in for different periods of time, right? Well, I know that was the exact same for me, for so long, even all the way up through Diamond. I got to Diamond with no one on my team working. Not a single person wanted to do this business. And, they had joined the business and then got busy or got lazy or whatever it was. And I just literally got there by myself. I did everything it took to get there because I said, you know what, I deserve this promotion and I'm going to keep finding people who want this. And so it did take me a long time too. And so maybe you're somebody who just joined this business. You've enrolled, a couple distributors and you're like, they're not doing anything. What am I doing wrong? Like, what the heck? Like, whatever. And you're getting discouraged by that. Be encouraged that may be normal. Like I always talk about distributors. And if you've been on Zooms with me, you're going to be like, don't tell the card story again. But we have so many new people. I'm going to say it. Signing up distributors is like a deck of cards. You have this deck and it's face down, and every time you sign a distributor, you flip over a card, and that card may be a 10 or a 2 or a jack or a queen, right? But every single deck of cards has 4 aces, and those aces are the people that are going to run with you. They're going to run to the top. They're going to be on your ambassador chart, and they're going to get to the top of the company with you because they're just running and they want this just the same as you. So those people are in that stack, but they may be the first 4 people, the first 4 cards you flip over, right? They may be the last 4 cards that you flip over. It may take you 48 other people to get to those last 4 people that are in that deck that are your aces, and they may be all scattered throughout the middle, but you're never going to know if you don't keep flipping over cards. So you've just got to keep signing up distributors and letting them join and say, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you how to do what I do. If they want it, then they do. If they don't, then they don't. And that's not on you. So be your own runner and run and work as if you had this massive team so that you know how to be a leader when you actually do. I love that you said that because I think a lot of people actually did need to hear that. Okay. So, you said that you are retired now. Like you just do this business. Well, I guess you were just in school and everything, but you do this business full time now, and your husband works and everything. Have y'all been able to do anything with this business, like financially, with like debt, anything like that?
Yes, of course. So I skipped over like the most important part. So this past fall, actually a year ago today, I just shared it in my team page. I went vocal with how much student debt I had. And actually it's right over there, but I made like a thermostat. Actually, I'll just put my computer up quick and show you. I feel like it just makes a lot more sense. So okay, there it is. Like, think of like an advertising campaign thing. I literally made one for my student loans. So last fall, I just really started dreaming big. It was a year ago today that I went on Facebook and was like, this is how many student loans I have, and I want to pay them off. And I just really like bigger, what I could make. At the time I was a diamond, and, I couldn't make huge payments. And so I just really spoke it into existence and wrote it down. And I made that so I could look at it every single day, and I could look at it and it would motivate me and encourage me to just stay after it, and that if I stayed the path, it would come true. And one of the payments I put on there was June of this past year to make a $10,000 payment, and at the time I was a diamond, which averages $2,000 a month. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to, come to fruition, but I just put it out there. And so I've been able to pay off all of my $35,000 in student loans. So I'm student loan debt free. I am big on trying to teach people to be financially responsible with their money. We live in a townhome. We don't, extravagant. I don't have a Louis Vuitton. I drive a 2011 Chevy Impala because I am all about being debt free and teaching your team to do the same and just being really wise with your money. So this month, actually, I'm paying off my car. So that'll be completely done. And then actually, Morgan, I saw on your Facebook, we just bought my husband. He used to have a 2000 Chevy Impala. We just bought a 2018 Chevy Silverado pickup truck because they were having a bunch of rebates and stuff. Yeah, anyways. So now our next goal is I have, if you didn't see, the one right next to the student loan now, I have one for our truck. And my goal is to have that paid off in May of this coming year because that's 4 payments of $10,000 a month, which is an average triple diamond. So I'm just really big on putting my goals out there and speaking them into existence, writing them somewhere that I can see them every single day. This business has been such a financial blessing. When I made that thermostat last fall, I had no idea what this past year was going to bring, and I'll just go right into it. So I made that in the fall, and you make your dream board and you just think that you know what the next year is going to bring. And then on January 7th, my life literally got flipped upside down completely. My dad called me while I was at home and he said, Carissa, are you sitting down? And I said, no, what's up? He said, you need to sit down. I said, okay. And so I sat down. I come from a big family. I have 6 brothers, 1 sister. No, we're not Catholic. Everyone always asks that. And yes, they're all full siblings from the same mom and dad. And so I have one sister and 6 brothers. And so she's the oldest, and then there's 2 brothers and then me, and then I have 4 younger brothers. And my dad said, are you sitting down? I said, no. He's like, okay, sit down. He said, your sister's been shot and is in critical condition. And I said, what? Like, what? Like, she lives in a small town in Montana. Like, what? He said, I don't know what happened, Carissa, but she's been shot. Like we're leaving to go see her now. Okay. So I quick throw a bag together. My husband and I hop in the car and we drive 12 hours to Denver, Colorado. And what had happened was she had just had a roommate move in that was leaving an abusive husband of 10 years. And she had a restraining order on him. But unfortunately, he broke into their house in the middle of the night, kicked down the back door, and shot and killed my sister's roommate, so his soon-to-be ex-husband or ex-wife, and then shot my sister 6 times. And this was at about 2:30 in the morning. And my the roommate that owns the house didn't stay there that night, so she got home at 8 a.m. and found them and called 911. And somehow my sister laid there for 6 hours, being shot literally 4 times. It was 4 times, yeah. And survived, and the ambulance came, and they flew her to this was in Belgrade, Montana, which is by Bozeman. Flew her to the Bozeman hospital. They couldn't take her. Flew her to the Billings hospital. They couldn't take her, so flew her to Denver, which is a trauma 1 center. So we got ready in the middle of the night or whatever and drove out to be with her. And you know, it's stuff like this that you just don't ever think that's going to happen, that literally stuff you see in movies. Like, it wasn't my sister's relationship, nothing like that. That happened, that I was able to just pick up and go and be with her. And January through May, I pretty much was in Colorado the whole time. Like, I pretty much relocated to Colorado. My husband stayed back and like taught. I was able to be with her. I've been able to pay for different things that have come up. I could travel out there without worrying about gas or anything like that, or paying for hotels or anything like that. And the craziest part about it is that when I made this thermostat, that I was still able to work my business, and I was still able to work towards my goals while being with my sister and supporting her, and while, you know, I didn't have to put my life on hold, you know, where if I would have been at a normal job, I would have had to, you know, gone without pay, or I wouldn't have been able to be with her. And like, my sister is literally my best friend. She knows everything about me. And so I was able to be there for the 15 days she was in ICU, and while she transitioned onto a normal floor of the hospital, and while she transitioned into a rehab facility out there, and I was able to help her with showers and toileting and just all of that stuff that comes with it. And so, yeah, it's just because of this business that I've been able to pay off student loans and be with my sister. And now she's back home in South Dakota with us, and I take her to therapies 1 day a week. And, you know, I'm able to pay for things. You know, the other day I was able to go to TJ Maxx and buy her pajamas that she needed, because she obviously can't work, and just to be able to give back to her. And it's just so crazy that, you know, when I said yes on October 13th of 2016, that God knew I was going to need this business for something greater than what I could have ever pictured. And I think so often that people let life circumstances like that hold them back and just completely stop them. And I have a binder that I record customers, and I looked back on it, and in this past January, I still enrolled 24 customers, even with everything that was going on with my sister. I took 1 week off. I didn't enroll anyone from January 7th to January 14th, but then I started enrolling again on the 15th, because you want to know why? My sister wouldn't want me to quit. She wouldn't want me to quit on my dreams. She wouldn't want me to quit on my goals. Because of this business, I was able to be with her. And, you know, I think we can either use our situation as our excuse, or we can use it as our why, but it's your choice what you use it as. And so many people told me, Carissa, you're so strong for pushing through. Oh, you're so strong for continuing to go through. But no, I don't look at it as being strong. I look at it as being, God gave me this opportunity for a reason, and I can't quit on myself and my family and quit on this opportunity that God gave me to do so much greater with than what I could have ever imagined. So, then in February, I was able to be out there with my sister. I promoted to Double Diamond. I still went to conference at the end of January. Literally, I flew back. I was home for a day, flew out to conference, flew home, was home for a day, went back out with my sister. And so life happens, you guys. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen to you. It's a matter of when. And when it happens, are you going to be prepared and have the freedom to go out and, you know, support your loved ones? And I'm just literally, you guys, so thankful for Mark and Cindy and the vision that they had with this company, so that I could be with her and still be with her to this day. So that's a little bit about my sister's story. And yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm like tearing up, and I like don't get emotional like that, but like, I'm so glad that she is like okay, and that obviously she's still got like a road to recovery and everything, but that she's like better, you know, and that she's like back over in your area and all that stuff. That is crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, I think like everything that you said it's so true that people have life happen, guys. Like, I mean, Carissa, you've been in the business for a little over 2 years, right? You said 2016. So,
yeah. And I forgot to add, and then my dad had a stroke this past summer too. So that on top of it. So thankfully he like was able to recover from that. But same thing with that. I was able to go to the hospital right away and be with him and help out with my brothers and stuff like that. So.
Right. Yeah. Because in 2 years, y'all, life happens. So much life happens, you know, like, good things happen, bad things happen. You're going to get busy. You're going to get less busy. You're going to have kids. You're going to, you know, all these life changes happen, and it's not a matter of if they will, it's a matter of when. And, you know, sometimes we don't have things like what Carissa had with her sister happen that are so drastic, but either way, things are going to happen and come, into like, you know, your life. And you have to find a way to be able to work this business into that. And it's so simple to do. She stinking promoted weeks after all of this happened with her sister. And she was 100%, I bet you could say like you were 100% with your sister and also 100% committed to your business. And you can do that. Like you can be 100% with this, 100% with that. And, you know, and this isn't comparing whatsoever, but just another example. That's whatever, not less or more, whatever. Anyway, just another example of what happened in my life with the same thing. You know, I could have gotten distracted too. So I've been in the business for 4 years. So a lot of life has happened for me. Good things, bad things, you know, over the course of those 4 years, we've had a lot of loss. You know, I actually met Derek, my husband. I met him after I joined the business, and you know, we were dating and everything. And while we were dating, his uncle passed away. And then, a few months later, probably 6 or 7 months later, my papaw, it was actually at Green Carpet in 2017, in Florida. It was that Monday after Green Carpet, and I was still in Florida, and I was supposed to be there for another, few days. And we got a call that he had a stroke, and I was able to buy a plane ticket on the spot, didn't check my bank account, said, give me the first plane ticket out. Don't care what it costs. Don't care what time it is. Tell me when I need to be there. I'll go. I went, and I was able to go to where just one-way ticket. Didn't have to call my boss and ask if it was okay if I stayed. Didn't have to do any of that. Just bought a one-way ticket. I know the details of everything. And I was able to, go and be with him before he became completely unconscious, and then he later passed away a few days later, and I was able to be there for the funeral. Had I had a job, that would not have been the case. Had I not had this business, I would not have had the money to be able to afford a plane ticket to go see him, and that's something I would have never gotten back, you know? So I'm just really thankful, and then in that moment, I knew this business is what gave me the freedom to be able to do that. So why would I stop working the very thing that gave me the freedom to do that? I could have let that stop me or slow me down, but instead like she said, you can use it as an excuse or you can use it as your why. And that's my why, because I never want to have to miss those types of moments with my family again. And then later on last year, I lost my aunt, I lost my mamaw. And then just in October, we lost Derek's grandpa, and we were able to immediately pick up and say, hey, call it our neighbor. We're like, can you take the dog? We left. We just went, and the whole day we didn't know what was happening and all that stuff. And we got to be there with him. And so it's just so many things. And we also got married. So that was like a happy thing that happened. And I could have gotten distracted with wedding planning and let that just completely take over my life. But we paid for our wedding in cash, guys. And that was because of It Works. And if I wasn't continuing to work this business, I wouldn't continue to be able to make that income that I could use to pay for that wedding. So I knew that I had to get my priorities right and not say, okay, well, I'm doing the wedding. This is what I'm going to focus on. I was like, okay, this is a wedding. This is part of what I'm going to be able to do. I have so much time to plan it because of this business, but I'm also going to focus on my business because I want to continue to have the income to be able to do things like this. And so I love your story about that, because I think that people just have the wrong mindset going into those things that happen. And I love that you were still able to focus on your sister and be there for her, because I bet a lot of people in your family couldn't do that. Not because they didn't want to, but because they literally couldn't, right? Like, I bet a lot of your family, it sounded like your family was like in South Dakota too with you, like your parents. They probably couldn't drive down to Denver as often as you, or just stay there and live there for 4 months, right? So like, you being able to do this business gave your sister someone there while she was going through all this. She wasn't alone, and that's huge. Like, you'll never be able to undo that and like go back and do it differently. So I'm just super excited for you that you got to be able to be there for her. And then, okay, so that was one thing. Sorry, I'm just like so like in shock about that story. So, like,
no, you're okay. But I actually want to add something to that. I forgot to mention, speaking of being with this stuff, I want to add though, like as hard as that situation was and stuff, you guys, I still, like I even had an additional thing try and take me down. I had a family member that reached out to me and told me they couldn't believe that I was using my sister's situation and still working my business, because I was posting about being in the waiting room and, you know, stuff like that. And I had a cousin reach out to me and just go off on me, you guys. And it like crushed me. You know, I'm already like down and in the dumps because of everything that's going on with my sister. So I just want you to know that even like during those times, even after being in the business for a year, I still had family saying stuff to me. And you would think at a time in my life where I needed the support most, that's all they would give. But no, they still had an opinion about what I was doing. And so I just want to encourage you guys that if you have anyone like that in your life, that you just have to keep your why at the forefront and know that I just had to remind myself that my cousin wasn't going to pay my sister's medical bills. My cousin wasn't going to pay for her pajama set. My cousin wasn't the one. He never came out and visited her. Like, you know, like my cousin wasn't the one coming out. And so that was a cousin that said some pretty harsh things. And so I just want to encourage you that just keep your why at the forefront. And that's just the devil trying to take you down, because he knows that you're about to do something so great and so amazing. And that when you have those people come into your life, just keep pushing forward even harder, because you are literally on the verge of a breakthrough and on the verge of something amazing. So I just wanted to add that too.
No, it's true, because, you know, with anything that you do like that, like, people are going to have an opinion. They're going to totally twist your intentions, and you just have to remember, like, no, I know why I'm doing this, so their opinion doesn't really matter, because they are going to have an opinion about you, whether it's about this business or about something totally different. So you just have to push past their opinions and their thoughts about you and know that, no, like, I know my heart behind this, and I know my heart behind this post and why I'm doing this, and it's not anything negative. It's all to be a good thing. And like you said, like, this post and like me helping other people join this business, like, there are other people out here who need this, who are going to have the same situation happen. And because of that, they're going to be able to pay for medical bills or whatever. And it's helping me to be able to pay for my sister's medical bills and take care of her. So that's exactly right. And okay, so before all of this happened, and before you did this full time, you were in school. And I'm trying to like make sure that I got this right. So you joined in October 2016, but you like did this full time April 2017? April.
Yes.
Okay. So for those few months you were in school, you were a wife, you had a lot of things going on, you have a family, social life, whatever. So in those months specifically, because we have so many college students on my team, how did you fit this business into your life? What did your schedule look like? How did you make this a priority while still obviously taking school very seriously and making good grades in that?
So I just knew like my things that I had to do every single day. I was the kind of person that like if my upline told me to do something, I did it, because success leaves clues. And so even while I was in school, I was posting 2 to 3 times a day. And, you know, a lot of those times I was posting on my lunch break. So we had class every day from 8 to noon, and then lunch from noon to 1. And then we had class again from 1 to 4. And then I'd come home and study all night, or even I sometimes babysat. But so I just always posted like on lunch and then at night again. This was 2 years ago when you would like message all of the likers that like liked your post or whatever. So every night I would just make sure before I went to bed that I messaged all of the likers. I made sure that I followed new people every single day. And then I had a half-hour drive to school. So a lot of times that's when I would listen to my personal development, listen to my Christian radio, whatever it was. And honestly, it was just making it a priority instead of, I don't know, wasting time watching TV, or even if you don't have time to waste watching TV, because I really didn't. It was honestly sacrificing an extra 20 minutes of sleep, knowing that I joined this business for a reason. I didn't just join this business just to join and just leave it there. And so just being really disciplined with your time and just knowing your things in your head, like what are the 4 things that, or 5 things that are your non-negotiables that you're going to do every single day. And when mine were in grad school, it was posting twice a day, messaging all the likers on my posts, following new people every single day, and then doing personal development in the car. That's what I did every single day.
Yeah, same. So, I mean, this business is really easy to work into your life. And I was just on the Show Me the Money call with Pam, and one of the girls, she's that was on there with me, she's a mom of 4. Can't even imagine that right now in my life, but she's a mom of 4. And she was saying, like, her motto is, and I'm going to probably butcher the way that she said it, but it was really cool. It was like, keep your tasks rigid, but your method like Jello or something. And so basically keep everything that you know you need to do. That is for sure. Like, there is no changing that. Like, these are things you have got to get done today. But she said, but those things, getting them done may look like getting it done in an hour during nap time. And it also may look like doing it a little bit here and there and doing it at 4 a.m. when I'm feeding the baby, or, you know, late at night after I put them all to bed and I'm exhausted and I'm getting it done. It doesn't matter how you get it done as long as you get it done. And that's so true. I think a lot of people look at people like me and you who now we just get to do this business full time and we're like, heck yeah, like, this is amazing. But they forget that it took work to get to the point where we got to be able to do this. Like, I didn't enroll and they were like, congratulations, you are a presidential diamond. We'll just hand this title to you. Like, no, I started out as a distributor, so did Carissa, and you have to work your way up to where you can replace your full-time income with this business. So it takes effort to be able to do that, and that may look a lot of different ways, like listening to personal development in the car. You know, I would always do like phone calls or voice text while I was driving because I had 45 minutes commute, and then I would always, you know, use my products in person while I was in school in class. I would take my greens chews and I would pass around Confianza before our test, and I would always drink my greens in a clear water bottle. And this is before we had keto coffee and energy drinks or any of that stuff. So it was like just all that stuff that we had back then. I was using all of that stuff, and people in my class became customers and distributors. So I think a lot of times we compartmentalize our life and we're like, okay, now I'm going to go to school, then I'm going to go to work, then I'm going to be a wife, then I'm going to be a mom, and don't have any time left for this business, so now I'm going to go to bed and just try again tomorrow. No, it's not like that. It's like, okay, while you're at school, use your products, talk to people that you're with, like, you're missing it. And then you go to work, and all the people that were at work with me, they all ordered as customers too, or they joined this business, or both. And, you know, then I would come home and I would message while I was hanging out with my boyfriend at the time, now husband, and, you know, I got to be able to work this business into my schedule. But you just have to get creative and just like actually like think about it, because a lot of times we miss opportunities that we could have been working our business. While you're just like scrolling through Facebook, why don't you actually send messages instead of, you know, doing like watching, I don't even know what, Twitter or whatever, like late at night? Set up posts for tomorrow, do something that's productive. Scrolling is not enrolling. So true. I love that. So, okay, let me find the next question. Okay, so you promoted to Triple Diamond last month. Congratulations. That's amazing. Okay, so first of all, how did you feel when you, okay, for people who don't know, people who are brand new, Triple Diamond is average $8,000 to $10,000 a month in income a month from your phone. Okay. So whenever you saw your commissions check post on the 8th and you got to see like a glimpse of what you're going to get paid in 5 days, what was your reaction? Like, what did you think? And then I'm going to ask you the actual question.
I literally, so I sometimes, I talk to Emily Worsink quite often. I text her and I go, this money is real. And she goes, what was your paycheck? And I told her, and she's like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, like I was in shock. Like, we're talking 5 figures. Like, I didn't even, like, I'm going to be able to pay off my car and have money left over. Like, I was like literally in shock. Like, my husband's going to get his master's next year to be a principal, like more money than what a principal makes. And like, they like what? Like, and he's a teacher and a coach. And so he's in varsity basketball right now. And so he's constantly busy, and just knowing I made like 3 times what he made and he works like his butt out. Like, it's just, insane. Like, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, now I want more because of the girls on my team. I'm like, I want this for them now. Like, I'm just even more like motivated and like, let's do this.
Yes. And it's so funny because like it's just crazy how much money you can actually make from this business. And you hear people talk about it all the time, but it's just so different whenever it's actually you. But it's funny because we just like saw our commissions check, and Derek looked over at me, my husband Derek, he like looked over and he was like, oh, that's what I make in a year. Okay, cool. Like just my paycheck. He was like, all right. And like he has like an actual job, but it's his dream job, so he loves it. But it was just funny because it's so true. Like it really is actually more than he makes in a year. But being able to do this and have that freedom and being able to pay off your car in one check, who does that? Like who does that? Like that is so crazy to me. And so now the actual question, I just wanted to see your reaction because I love like seeing other people like get those triple diamond paychecks for the first time. And I remember whenever I got my first triple paycheck. But so whenever you promoted last month, promotion months are so much fun. They're literally my favorite months ever. But they're also so exhausting. They're hard, and there's just a lot that goes into promoting, especially to a rank like triple. Like that's a lot of work. And is there ever a time last month that you felt like, okay, maybe this is not going to happen. Like I am just like so far, like just everything is going wrong. Like, did you ever have those moments, or was it pretty smooth because of something that you did the months before? Like what was that month like, and how did you overcome any discouragement that you could have had?
Okay, so first things first, the reason I went triple diamond is props to you because you did that. It was at the end of October, and I had actually made this sign that said, like, I'm big about putting it out there. It said, I am triple diamond, and it said existent. You guys, I originally had 02/27 of 2019, okay? And then Morgan did that really rocking Zoom with all those top leaders, and I watched it at the end of October that talked about, like, your D-Day and how you just have to decide. And I was looking, and I was like, well, why the heck am I waiting until February? Like, what am I doing? So I scratched it out, literally, as you can see. I scratched out the old date, and then I put 11/30 of 18. I was like, no, I'm doing this. And in that Zoom, they talked about, which I'd never done before, about going to your top leaders and telling them, like, hey, I'm going triple. Like, I have a double spot on my team. Like, do you want it or not? Otherwise, I'm going to give it to someone else. And I did that to my 2 top line diamonds, too. And I got them all on board, and we just, like, literally had work Zooms every night. There was 3 of us that were consistently on. And just working so hard and just casting that vision over my team. And I would say it all the time on our weekly Zooms, like, we're a triple diamond team, we're a triple diamond team. But there was definitely times in the middle of the month, even when the 25th ran, and I was like, how the heck? Like, oh my goodness. The 25th ran, and I still needed 5,233 in volume. And I want to say we promoted organically. So that means we brought all of that in within like 6 days. And we just got to work. Like, I signed 21 customers in 2 days. I know I've heard Morgan say this, Cheyenne say it. It's called God volume at the end of the month. Like, people just come out of the woodworks when you make a decision that you're going to do it. I did so many hosted posts. It's not even funny. Like, I was just like, this promotion is going to be worth it. But there was definitely times throughout the middle of the month, because I look at my GB every single day. I'm like, I'm not on track. But then another big thing that I did every single day was, especially after the 25th of the month, I literally just took a sticky pad, and I wrote, so this was 11/26, I am signing 500 BV today. And then I just subtracted it as I went. And that day I signed 540. The next day I said, I'm signing 676 BV. And I just subtracted it as I went. And that day I signed like 700. Then, like, so I just wrote affirmations every single day. And I guess, like, just went crazy with host to post. But like Morgan said, promotion month is like fun, but like it's not, like, it's exhausting. Like, it's so fun to hit a promotion, but it definitely takes intention and everyday discipline. Like, it doesn't just happen. You don't just hit a promotion just by like, oh, I'm diamond, or oh, I'm double. Like, no, like, you have to have your charts. I was charting my team every single day. They're actually like right here. Like, I was charting my team every single day. I had that I looked at. But yeah, I guess, like, if you make a decision, Pam Sauter says, when a woman makes up her decision to go after something and she goes after it, she's going to do it. But you just have to decide that you're worthy and to just get after it and be consistent every single day, and know that you really can do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah, and it's not always going to be easy. Like, it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. This is a breeze. Like, okay, yeah, I'm a triple diamond. Woo! Like, no. And people are always like, you know, how did you feel whenever you hit that rank? Or, you know, I said promoted to presidential. So they're like, how did you feel whenever you promoted to presidential? And you may feel this too. In the middle of promoting, like in those promotion months, I'm like, dude, whenever I freaking promote to this rank, I'm going to cry. Like, I am going to cry. And I remember we had gotten everything done for our promotion, so I already knew that I was going to promote. We were waiting on the system, and this was the day or two before the end of the month in October. And so me and my husband were out to dinner. We were just like chilling. We were already celebrating. Like we were doing the taco margarita deal, like celebrating our promotion that had not actually happened yet. And so I kept checking eSuite and like refreshing while we were at the table, and it refreshed and said presidential. I did not cry. I did not. I was like, heck yeah. Like, dang straight. Like, I worked freaking hard as heck for that, and now I'm going to go to bed because I'm so tired. Like, I didn't cry. Like, I was like, dude, yeah, I worked so hard for that. It better say presidential. But what I'm trying to say, though, is, like, it's so fun, but it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. It's fun because everyone's working together. It's fun because there's so much momentum. It's fun because you're like signing 700 volume in one day. You're like, where did this come from? And you're like, I don't know, but God gave me this volume and I'm so excited. We're going to hit this promotion. And you're just like all working together. And there's just like all this fired up like excitement, and you're Zooming every night. And I remember we would Zoom until like 4 a.m. and there was, let me see if she's on here. Yeah, she is Jasmine. She, Old Faithful. She would just not sleep at all through the night. So, like, me and a couple girls were like, okay, it's like 3 a.m. We're like, we're going to go to sleep. Like, call us at 8 a.m. and wake us up. And she'd call us at 8 a.m. because she still hadn't been to bed. She was like, girls, get up. Time to go. Let's go. Let's get up. And I was like, I don't want to. She was like, you're promoting. Let's go. So it was just so much fun. But there's so many times where, you know, because I've got a lot of girls promoting this month. Team No Sleep. There's a lot of girls promoting on my team this month, and they've had moments where they're like, oh my gosh, yes, we're doing this. And they've had moments where they're like, ooh, maybe not. But that's normal. So I just wanted y'all to hear that. It's normal to feel like, oh crap, like I don't know. Even if it's at the 25th, you know, and you're like, I still don't know if this is actually going to happen or not. Like, that's okay. It's normal. And just you have to keep pushing, because she didn't look at that 5,000 volume that she needed and think, all right, well, that was a good try, ladies. We'll try again in December or November. That was November. So we'll try again in December, or we'll just shoot for February. Like, it's not that big of a deal. No, she wrote this goal down. She said she was going to do it. Her leaders are on board, so she just did it. And she doesn't know how she did it, but she knew why she wanted it, and the how took care of itself. She didn't know how she did it. She still couldn't tell you how, other than the fact that she just worked really hard, and that's what she had been doing, and it just all came together. So have the faith that God is going to fulfill what he promised you, and he's not going to give you a vision for something that he won't help you attain. And whether that's in your time frame or his time frame, and whether they're the same or not, doesn't matter, but he says that everything that he begins, he will finish to completion. And so if he puts this vision in your head, like, he's going to help you finish that. He's not going to put this goal and be like, ooh, triple diamond, ha, just kidding, like, you can't have it. Like, no, he's going to help you do that. So I think we just need to have a little bit more faith that everything is going to come together, and we have to do our work and our part to make that happen. Okay, so speaking of people that are promoting this month, what tips do you have for people that are promoting? Is there anything specific that you did that brought in volume besides just messaging?
Okay, so a couple things. First things first, I think that literally, like, you have to believe it, like, with everything in you that you're going to do it. So I personally set it as the background on my phone and said, I am worthy, because I went to an event in Lincoln, Nebraska, and a big thing I personally struggle with is worthiness. And I had a talk with Ambassador Diamond, Amber Parker, which I'd never talked to before. She just, like, spoke life into me, and I put it as my background. I am worthy, and I put $10,000 per month VIP. And so I looked at that every single day. I'm big about signs. You guys already saw my sign about I am triple diamond. I put that, and then the other things, is massive action. So one of my leaders on my team, one of the days was like, what else can I do? Like, what else can I do? I said, double what you did yesterday. There's always more that can be done. And so I was big on just host to post, getting up like a ton of Facebook host to post every single day, which is really weird because I normally work Instagram, but I've kind of recently transitioned over, totally stepping outside my comfort zone. So Facebook host to post were huge for me. And then just, taking massive action and writing that goal of how much BV per day you were going to sign and not sleeping literally until you sign that. There were some days it was like 6, 7 p.m. and I still hadn't signed anything. I was like, oh, I'm just so tired. But I just kept going, and then out of note, like 400 BV would come in, between like 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. So just keep going and hold on to the faith and take massive action and write it down everywhere, and give it your all and know that God will bless your hard effort. But you first have to put in the hard work for him to have something to bless. You can't just be like praying for all this volume to come in when you're not actually putting in the work for him to bless something. So if you're putting in the work, and like Morgan said, whether it's on your time or his time, I originally on my dream board had that I was going to go triple in April, and that didn't happen. That's okay though. Like, as long as you keep the same goal, and you just sometimes have to maybe adjust your deadline and just know that you're giving it your all. So taking massive action and writing it down literally everywhere. I even had like the little Post-it note above my toilet paper in the bathroom that said, I am worthy $10,000 a month. And now I have to go switch that because I hit that, which is just so crazy to me. But I guess those are my tips for promoting.
I have that same thing above my toilet paper roll. Well, it's a different number, but yeah, I heard that from somebody, and it was like, put the amount of money that you want above your toilet paper roll. So you have this number in your head of what you want to hit per month. Put that above your toilet paper roll on a sticky note. Why? Because you look at toilet paper every day. So you're going to be able to see that number consistently over and over again. Okay, last question. This is for the newbies because we do, like I said, have a ton of new distributors in here. So knowing what you know now, if you had to go back to Carissa on October 14, 2016, when the day that you joined, what would you say to her?
Okay, so a couple things. I showed my husband the questions that you sent me, and he goes to that question. He goes, wow, that's a hard question. I said, I know. I said, can you think of anything that I've said over the years? And he's like, no, I can't. So the things that I had come to my mind was, first things first, take quitting off the table. Like, there were so many times throughout my business that I was like, well, if I don't promote to this by this date, I'm quitting. If I don't do it, like, there's honestly been so many times in my business I almost quit. But now, like, I'm smart enough, I feel like, and wise enough that I've totally taken quitting off the table, because the only way you fail is if you quit. Like, yeah, there's been so many goals throughout my business I haven't hit. There was so many times, last year when I was running all by myself to Diamond, like Morgan said, and was just running by myself. And I was like, God, when are you, like, when am I going to get blessed with a runner? Like, when's it going to happen? But it does happen. So hold on to faith and know that it does happen, and just take quitting off the table, because literally, I promise, if you work this business consistently every single day, like, you will eventually get to the top, and you will eventually be able to fulfill your dreams. The other thing I would say is take personal development serious. Take it serious, because literally 80% of this business is mindset. And I didn't take it serious at the beginning, and I think so many newbies don't take it serious at the beginning because they literally don't understand how important it is and how much mindset is of this. Like, I truly believe if I went to written last month, I am triple diamond, and wrote down how much BV I wanted every day and stuff like that, and listen to Earl Nightingale, Secrets of Success, or I think that's what it's called. Anyways, I listen to that every single day. But personal development is so important, and make sure that you're growing yourself every single day, because if you tell yourself you can't do something, then you can't. And so I would just say, really, Strangest Secret. There we go. Yes, that's it, by Earl Nightingale. His voice is really weird, but his point is really good. And so I would say take quitting off the table, do personal development every single day, and stay consistent, and just start. I look back at my Facebook memories 2 years ago, and I look at how horrible, honestly, my posts were. They were so bad. Like, they were just awful. But the thing is that if you don't start, like, you can never get better, right? Like, it's failing forward. So you might look at Morgan and be like, oh my gosh, she's so good at posting, and her pictures are perfect, and this and that. You guys, she's been in, I think, 4 years. You guys, that's like a lot of time. That's a lot of months. I think that's like 48 months if I'm doing my math right. So if you're literally just starting and you're a newbie, don't compare your chapter 1 to her chapter 48. There's things you're going to learn along the way, and just dive in, you guys. Another huge thing would be, this is so many things, but YouTube, I recommend Morgan's YouTube channel to all of my newbies because there's so many good Zooms. And so just dive in. If you want something, your enroller is here to help you. But there's also so many good training tips on YouTube, and you have to figure out what works for you. So literally take quitting off the table, stay consistent, do personal development every single day, and take it seriously and watch Zooms. And I promise that you will end up where Morgan is one day.
One second. Sorry for the awkward pause. I was trying to
you're okay.
in that video. I love that so much. Literally took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was gonna say. And I love the thing that you said. I never thought of it that way, but like, don't compare your chapter 1 to her chapter 48, because I did that whenever I first started. I was like, dang, like, she's so good at this. Well, of course she is. She's been doing this for 6 years. So of course she's gonna be good at this because she's had a whole lot of practice. But I'm new and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to learn, and I'm going to follow these people who do know what they're doing, and I'm going to copy what they do. So yeah, if, what you said about quitting off the table, guys, if you let quitting be an option, you'll take it every time because it's the easy thing to do. If you feel like, okay, well, I could either quit or I could keep going. And if you allow quitting to be there, that's what you'll choose. And, you know, I've thought about quitting multiple times. There was a time where I thought about quitting before I went diamond. I had sat at Ruby for what ended up being a year, but at that point it had only been like 9 or 10 months. And I sat at Ruby for that long, and I had earned a spot on the cruise. So I didn't quit because I got to go on a free cruise. And I was like, well, if I go on the free cruise, I can't quit and then go on the cruise. But I'm going on that cruise, so I guess I'm just not going to quit. And that's why I didn't quit. But gosh, man, if I had quit, I don't know where I would be. I really, really don't know where I would be because I had no clue what I wanted to do. And I was in school, I mentioned before, they shut the program down. I was halfway through, so I didn't even get to finish school. So I don't even know what I would want to do. Like, I would be probably in debt with a degree that I didn't want, at a job that I hate, living paycheck to paycheck. I don't know where I would be, but I wouldn't be living the life that I know that God intended for me to have had I quit this business. So I'm so glad that I didn't. And one thing, because somebody asked me that question before too, is like, if you had to go back, what would you say to yourself? And I would just say, you have no idea. That's all I would say, is like, you have no idea. You just, like, you don't even know what you're getting yourself into. And I mean that in the best way possible. You know, I joined this business. It literally makes me emotional because I just think about myself back in 2014, and I'm like, you're joining this business for $100 a month, but you have no idea what, like, and I'm just thinking of all the people, all the friends I've met. I'm thinking of all the team members that I have, and I'm like, you have no idea. Like, you don't even know who these people are yet, but you will, you know, and like, you have no idea all the debt that you're putting on these credit cards to pay for your groceries. You're going to be able to pay that off. Like, you have no idea that car that you just bought, you're going to pay it off 4 years early, you know, and I just keep thinking, like, you have no idea. And I know in 2 to 3 years from now, I'm going to look back and I'm going to think, oh, 2018 Morgan had no idea. And it's so exciting to think about that because it's so true. Like, we have no idea, and God has so much in store for us, y'all, but you have to put the work in, and he will bless the work that you're putting your hands to. And if you're willing to do that, then he wants to bless you. And he says that he will give you exceedingly and abundantly more than you could ever ask or imagine. And that doesn't mean just in materialistic things. That means he will give you the relationships beyond all that you could ask or imagine, the friends to encourage you, who actually deeply care about you. And you can never even like ask for that or imagine that. And I look back at my posts, this will be the last thing I say, but I look back at my posts on Facebook from like on this day, and I love looking back at those, and I see 2014 Morgan, that's whenever I joined, I see 2014 Morgan holding up the old wrap, okay, because the packaging for the wraps has changed. Y'all, I'm so old. Like, I like saw like the old wrap packaging, and I was around before exfoliating peel even came out, you know, like I see me taking selfies in the basement of the house like 4 houses ago, and taking a selfie with you know, like horrible filters, and like they just didn't, I didn't even know what I was doing, and they didn't have a front camera back then, and I just look at those pictures and I'm like, you go, girl. Like, your post, that was terrible. But you go, girl, because you just did something. Like, the action that you put in that day, you have no idea where it's about to take you. So I think that's the biggest thing that I want y'all to just catch the vision of is 2019, Morgan, or 2019, whatever your name is, will look back at 2018 and say, you have no idea what just happened. Like, you'll have no idea what just is about to happen. So I want to leave y'all with that, and I hope that you feel inspired and encouraged. I know that Carissa inspired and encouraged me so much, and just to hear your, like, thank you for being vulnerable and open and all of that about your story with your sister and everything. And we'll definitely be praying for her. Just keep us posted if anything happens from all of that. And thank you for just getting on here with us tonight and sharing your night with us. And we're seriously so thankful for you. You did an amazing job. And I am pumped, and I'm ready to go triple diamond again because of that. We're going to go ambassador. You have a lot of people that you just encourage that are going to go after their goals and hit these promotions because you said that they could and because you did it last month. And so they're watching you. And anyway, I'm just super excited. I'm going to stop talking because I'm just going to ramble about how just excited I am for the rest of the night. So I'm going to get off here, but thank you so much. And everybody have an awesome rest of your night and an awesome week. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.